So the latest subject in the community conference room is gun control. Once again, America has been forced into a conversation that the media has put before us that is irrelevant. Just today, and I'm so sorry for this family, I don't know them, but apparently one of our SEALs was killed. A SEAL was killed today by his supposed friend who had PTSD. He was teaching his friend how to shoot a gun. They were at a firing range, and his friend turned the gun on the SEAL. This SEAL apparently had written many books about being a gunster, if you will. Apparently he was incredibly proficient. So here we have a proficient gun user being shot by a mentally ill person. Again, the subject is, how do we keep guns out of the hands of the mentally ill? We have a 5-year-old boy who's caught in a crevice, in some kind of a room under the earth, where he's being housed by a man who everyone knows was crazy. His neighbors talk about him brandishing guns, injuring animals. Guns and the ability to purchase them is a right, but with that right and privilege, there is a responsibility. And once you have abrogated that responsibility and you show that you cannot be a responsible gun owner, you lose. Your gun should be gone. Now, how can doctors play into that? Well, obviously, for those people who are too mentally ill to ever own a gun, we need to let somebody know. It is truly, I think, to some degree, our responsibility if we know it. I don't think that we have to go asking the question, but if someone offers to me they have a gun and they're remarkably depressed, or I don't think that they can be responsible, I think I have an obligation to the person sitting there to protect them and the people around them. Do something about it. Don't just wait for the news media to come by after the fact and admit, oh yeah, he was crazy. What? The psychiatrist of the gentleman in Colorado who gunned down all those people in the movie theater, she knew he was crazy. She knew he had guns. Yes, I'm sorry, I think she has a responsibility to report it. Now that doesn't mean I have to go investigating my patient's closet. I don't have to ask the question, do you own a gun? I don't think that's my responsibility. But if it is offered to me that I have a patient who is not mentally stable and they have a gun, you're damn right it's my responsibility to make sure that they are protected. Just like I would protect them from pills, I wouldn't give them tons of opiates if I knew that they couldn't control the pills they were taking. It is my responsibility. You know, we do have some obligation to one another. I don't think it has to be codified in law, but I do think that there are some moral and ethical obligations here that we need to start to look at. And I think that it doesn't do us any good to register everybody with guns if the registration is inaccurate. I own a gun. True. I bought my gun when I lived in San Pedro. My gun is registered in San Pedro. It doesn't follow me to Long Beach. That's pretty crazy. So if you're going to register the guns, you have to keep up with that registration. They should be re-registered. I should have to continue to prove that I'm a safe owner. I think all those things are just common sense. At the same time, don't you think it's common sense that if your neighbor is brandishing a gun irresponsibly, that you make sure it gets out of his hands? Don't you think that we have a public responsibility? Somehow we have to learn to juggle privacy and public responsibility. I think it's a huge challenge, but I think we're up to it. And let's stop talking about crazy things like how many rounds are in the guns and assault weapons, subjects that have nothing to do with anything. Get Wayne LaPierre off of the camera. This is not his fight. This is not about someone's right to own a gun. This is about the mentally ill and the fact that we have not adequately taken care of them or protected them and the people around them from everything, guns, cars, and other things that can hurt people.